can't really do too much about that.
Yeah, you're out there in no man's land.
Out here, I got 3 bars on my internet.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, says we're live. Hang on. Well, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great. I am helping my daughter put a great big window in her house.
A great big window.
Yeah, it's 5 feet high and 6 feet wide.
That's a nice view of the world.
That's
What,
what she wanted.
what is she going to be looking at?
She's looking at woods
Woods.
like
There's
this.
today. Can you see that?
Yep, I see that. You're out on the old Antelope Plains.
Yeah, for all you folks that are with us today, if it gets a little choppy, if the internet gets a little choppy, I'm out here in rural Wyoming, and I stopped antelope hunting for an hour to do this call with you.
Yeah,
I had to put my
it's
hat
great that
on.
we can do that. I'm helping my daughter put in a window, and you're hunting, and we're doing business.
I had to put my hat on though, because Andrew, my hair is just a total disaster today.
Mine's kind of a disaster too, but I didn't have a hat.
Yeah. So here we are. It's the middle of October already. Holy crap!
I know it's getting gorgeous in Michigan. All the sugar maples are turning.
All the leaves are turning. Yeah, you can see it behind you.
Yeah,
Same thing in Dakota, over here in Wyoming, everything is brown. This is what happens out here, and everything turns brown. It doesn't turn colors. It just goes from green to brown.
oh, that's not
But
very pretty.
they got some really good hunting. I came down here yesterday. It was a 10-hour drive, and stopped in Bismarck and saw a couple friends of mine, and here I am.
Great.
Here I am.
What do you want
So,
to talk about today?
you know, I just thought, we might have a wing day. Let's talk about chicken wings. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about buffalo wings. Um, no, I thought, what a great day. I'm out here in kind of the wild, and kind of the importance of talking about why why do nutritional supplements, why do they work? You know, a lot of people ask me that question. I'm sure they ask you that question too. They're like, well, how come I need to take that supplement?
Right?
Why can't I just go to the grocery store and buy food?
Yeah, I have people say that a lot. Well, I just try to eat right.
I just try to eat right, right? And and I've had people tell me that in the past too. They say, well, I don't have to take all those supplements that you take. I just eat right. I said,
Yes.
you don't think that I try to eat right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I say to my friends, you don't think that I'm trying to eat right?
Right. That's right.
But but they think that that they can do it better than me. I have a friend of mine. He sells windows and doors, and that's what he told me one day. He said, well, I just eat right.
Yeah. It's
I said,
almost
what do you do?
impossible to just eat right nowadays. I mean, of course, we're going to try and eat as much nutrition as we can, but the fact is that our foods are depleted in minerals and nutrients like tons more than they were in the 50s, 60s, and even 70s.
That's right. That's right. If you take a look, the USDA tells us um, that in 1954, today, you'd have to eat 12 heads of lettuce to get the same nutrition as one head of lettuce from 1954.
Yep. And that is, I know, 66 years ago because I was born in 1954.
There you go. So when you were born, food was 12 times more nutritious than it is today. Not
Right.
12% better, not 12% better, 12 times better.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I
And,
hope that we can in the future get back to that. Like I hope they can figure out ways to naturally put nutrients and minerals back in our soil.
well, they used to do it. I mean, think back, like when I was a kid, my mom and dad had this huge garden. They would go to the farm and they'd get the farmer to give them a load of manure, cow, horse, chicken, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They'd take that manure and they'd work it into the soil, and it would add back the sulfur and it would add back the magnesium and it would add all these minerals back into the soil.
Right.
But but now, so many people, what they do is they add all these chemical fertilizers, and the chemical fertilizers, it might have a lot of nitrogen because it makes the crop grow huge. But it's not really making it that much more nutritious, is it?
No, no, not at all.
Yeah. So bottom
So
line is that's
we
the
have
answer to the question.
subs that
Why do
have
we need?
adapted.
Say it again. I missed your answer there. You cut out.
What's that?
I said you cut out. I didn't hear
That
you.
just came through. No, I was talking about, yeah, we're talking over each other. Our supplements are formulations of extracted nutrients, which make them much more powerful.
That's right. Yeah, and the more colorful fruits and vegetables, you're gonna have more nutrients, more antioxidants.
Right?
So it does make a huge difference. It does make a huge, and it's not just fruits and vegetables either. I'm out here hunting antelope, wild game. I like to hunt. I eat the food that I hunt, and it's so much better. And people say, "Well, why is it so much better? Why can't I just go to the grocery store and buy some beef, or buy some pork, or buy chicken out of the freezer?" It's not.
Right.
There must be a huge
Well, the
delay
problem
between you
is,
talking and you.
it's mostly raised. Yeah, we're having a delay, so just go ahead and talk.
Okay, I'll give you a second to answer after I ask a question from now on.
Okay. Well, in regards to the meats that we buy in the grocery store, they are mass produced. They're fed things that would quickly grow them so they can make a lot of money on them, not necessarily nutritious stuff. Plus, because they are all packed into animal quarters that are close, they have to use antibiotics and all kinds of stuff in the animals that we don't necessarily want in our meats.
Yep. So they're adding all sorts of chemicals to the animal feed so that the animals fatten up and they can have more profit. But then a lot of times the
Yep.
middlemen, the grocery stores, they're adding chemicals. The middlemen are adding chemicals, and they're adding different kinds of things to make the weight even more. So now they can make even more profit. I've seen videos
Right.
where
Got to keep that red meat redder,
injected.
right?
I've seen meat or videos where they injected meat with different kinds of silicone, you know, just to fatten it up to
Yep.
make it look more plump, so that you buy it, and then
Yeah, like
they
chicken
add
breast.
they add bleachers to
Yep.
it to whiten up the meat to make it look better.
Yep. They do that.
Yeah. So that's why we need supplements. And Andrea, the thing about it is that you can't just go to the grocery store and and think that you're going to buy high quality nutritious supplements.
No. Right.
It isn't good work, is it? Not at all.
No.
No, because you know they the nutrition companies, most of them don't follow any kind of regulation at all. They'll say, "Oh, that's what's in there," but when Dr. Oz did that program, how many years ago now? Was it 3 years ago?
Yep.
And he said 80% of the products that he tested, I believe it was 80%, maybe even more. They didn't have what the bottle said. They didn't have the label ingredients. They didn't even meet up to the label.
Yeah. And if you couldn't hear, Doc, that was 80% of the supplements found on big box store and grocery store shelves didn't have the ingredients the label said was in there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, the New York State attorney or the attorney general for the state of New York, wasn't he involved with that testing? Wasn't the state's attorney involved with that? The attorney general?
I don't know. I don't know, Kurt.
You don't remember? But it was
No.
interesting. And then you go back 20 years ago, and in Minneapolis, the big newspaper there, the Star Tribune, they did a study themselves, and they found that 80 to 90% of supplements didn't meet label claims. That was 20 years ago.
The chicken's talking to you.
There's the chickens. That's right. So, just a little hen talk, right? But so that's why we need supplements. But then you start looking at quality of supplements, and there's a big difference there too in quality of supplements. I mean, like let's just talk about CoQ10 for example. Most companies don't actually use high
Right?
quality CoQ10,
Right. Didn't you say it was like CoQ9 or something like that?
right? So there's no
It's
way
missing something.
the label claims when they're using the wrong ingredient.
Right?
There you go. There you go. So you know, it's just interesting when we start talking about it, and when we start getting into the conversation with people, and you know I tell people that, so you've got a choice. Are you going to believe the people who tell you, oh, you get plenty of nutrition from your food, or are you going to believe the people that say, hey, no, you're not? First thing is
Oh,
you
you
got
know what? That's easy to disprove. I mean, you just go to the agricultural government website, and there's a little box in there. You can put in nutrient value of our foods compared to what you were sharing before, like back in the 1950s and 60s. And it'll show you the
yep,
difference of all the foods, like broccoli and lettuce and carrots and everything like
all of it.
that. So it's not even a question of what you're going to believe. Are you going to believe the science?
Are you going to believe the science? So now that you've made the decision that, hey, I'm going to believe the people that say we need to take a supplement, then the next question you have to ask yourself is, what supplement?
Right. And before I met you, that was like the big issue in my thinking is I knew I should be taking supplements. I just didn't know good quality supplements.
That's right. So a lot of people, they still don't know, and you might say, hey, 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 take this product, you know, take what I'm selling, take what I'm talking about, take what I'm yakking about, and they go, well, why should I take that one from you? Well, why don't I take this one from over here from the big box store?
Yep. Well, that's where the science comes in again.
Yeah. Or how do you know on the label? Well, there's one thing that you can go by, you know.
What's that?
So you want to look for the GMP label.
That's
Good
right.
man,
Good manufacturing practice.
good manufacturing practices, right? And it's a it's a it's a label that the FDA has given to certain companies, a handful of companies, because they actually follow um, the same practice that a pharmaceutical company would use in making their products.
That's right.
It makes a difference because you have to, in order to get that label, you actually um, have to guarantee that your products are going to hold their label claims for 2 years.
Yep. So that means they're viable for 2 years.
That's right. So when you buy products like from what we have with Sizzle, what's on the label has to be in the label. You have to, if you don't open that bottle up for 2 years and you open it up in 2 years for the first time, it has to meet those label claims just like it did the day that it was made.
Yep. And
And
that's,
they,
I'm
and
so
they get
happy I
tested.
found Sizzle for that reason.
The company actually gets tested. The FDA will pop in there every so often to make sure that they are actually meeting the label claims.
Yep.
Where some companies that manufacture products, they'll just throw whatever they want in the bottle. They throw it in there, and then buyer beware.
Or they'll sprinkle it in.
Yeah, I remember Tom Mauer Senior was telling me one time that that he went to a huge nutritional supplement symposium or whatever you want to call it, health fair, and so in a private meeting for all the manufacturers, that was one thing that
Uh-huh.
they said, hey, we know that it's getting expensive to make good quality products. So if you guys kind of fairy dust the ingredients in, that's what they call it, fairy dusting it in, just put a little bit in on the label. You can say you have it in there. Who's going to test it?
Yep. I remember that.
Yeah, and
Right?
so that was what they talked about at the symposium that he was at, and Tom said we won't do that. Sizzle
That's right.
never do that.
Right. I loved Tom's little phrase he had where he said, I don't wave a chicken over boiling water and call it chicken soup.
That's right. That's right. Like you said earlier, trust the science. Well, whose science? I mean, everybody says, "Oh, we've got the best. Here's why." Da 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 da. Right? How do you know? How do you know? I was talking to somebody the other day, and he said, "Oh yeah, I take this product for it's the same as your TSX product." I said, "Oh really?"
Uh-huh.
I said, "The same, huh?" We talked about TSX last week, but um, so he said that he was making something that was the same as the TSX product, and I said, "Okay, let me go look at it." And I went and looked at the ingredients. I said, "It's not even close to the same." I said, "We have 10 milligrams of one astragalus extract that costs $84,000 per kilo. We have another extract we put in 10 milligrams of an astragalus extract that costs $45,000 per kilo. A kilo is 2.4 pounds, and so we're putting in 20 milligrams of ingredients that cost you know for those two ingredients that together it's over $120,000 per kilo per two,
Right?
right?
And a
And
kilo is
and and
the
he,
size of a loaf of bread.
that's right. And so you figure, you know, his product didn't have any of that. His company put in
Yep.
a Bacopa or Bacaba, whatever you want to call it, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
$500 per kilo. So you see the
It's
water,
good stuff.
you know, and so
Right.
they're putting in a lot weaker ingredient. Yes, it does make a difference. It's better than nothing, but it's not the same thing. And I
but
said,
not the best you can get.
what do you charge for it? And they charged almost the same as what we
Well,
charge for our product.
well, that's just like I knew another company before I was involved with Sisel that had a resveratrol product, and their product was $150 a month to take. Ours is 1/3 of that, and ours is like some of the most potent resveratrol in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and the problem with resveratrol, I mean, getting into the science without getting too much into it, but just enough. Resveratrol, there's certain kinds of resveratrol, like cis resveratrol, CIS, and trans resveratrol, TRANS. And the trans resveratrol is the best. But then resveratrol, if you expose it to oxygen to the air, it oxidizes really quickly. And most resveratrol is
Right.
exposed to oxygen, and so it doesn't work. It's been oxidized by the time you get it as a consumer, unless you get it right from the assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90%.
Right.
It's 90% oxidized by the time you get it.
It's crazy. I'm so glad ours isn't.
So, there's a lot of stuff to it, and that's why I tell people that when you're looking at vitamins, when you're looking at nutrition, sometimes you just don't want to have everybody just peddling products, right? I mean, peddling products.
Right.
Because the problem with it is that
Right.
to the unknowing consumer, they're going to buy this product and or that product, and they're not going to know that there's a difference between this one and that one.
Exactly.
And that's you have to have some science backing it up. You have to be able to prove what you're saying, and that's really what we have with our company with Sizzle, any of the companies that I deal with, because not any one company is going to have everything, right?
Right.
Like I buy a separate vitamin D that I take in addition to my Sizzle products because I want to take a little bit more vitamin D. And so I look for the same things. I look for the GMP quality label, right? I look for where's it made,
Uh-huh.
who manufactures it, all these different things, right? So in a way, you got to find somebody that you can trust to help you market the products,
That's right.
so that you know, so that you know. Anyhow,
Yep. I mean, if you're going
I
to
thought
take
that was a
supplements,
good topic for today.
yeah, and if you're going to take supplements, why just throw your money out the window? Why not take what's really going to work and help you, right?
That's right. Take the good stuff.
That's right.
Take the good stuff. Right. I think that Sizzle is um, you know, we're way ahead of our time when you look at the formulations that Tom came up with, and God bless his soul. I mean, he passed away 2 months ago, but you know, way ahead of his time. You look at some of the formulations like the Stemolytic product. When he and I first started talking about it, he said that Aubrey de Grey, one of the greatest minds in anti-aging and age reversal, Aubrey de Grey said it would be decades before we would come up with a good senolytic activator.
Right.
You know, and 3 months later, I remember Tom and I were talking, and Tom said to me, he said, I've got it figured out.
I love that. He did not give up on his research until he
That's
figured
right.
it
In
out.
90 days, he did what one of the most iconic figures in anti-aging said would take 10 years. Tom did it in 90 days. Yep. No wonder he got the Genius Award twice. No wonder he was on the board of directors for the the World Stem Cell Congress. No wonder he was one of their top guest speakers, keynote
Yep.
speakers at their events. I mean, he was brilliant.
Yep. So, we have advanced state of the art formulations to optimize health. That's all there is to it. And if you don't believe us, you can go on somebody's website who invited you to this and you can check out all the science there because there's links to the science.
That's right. So let's get into the bottom of the hour here, Andrea. I know we got started a couple minutes early. I'm going to get back to my hunting and enjoying my little week vacation out here.
Well, you have a great time.
Yeah, thanks for being with me again. Enjoy the last couple weeks of nice weather, and I will too. And we'll be back next Tuesday for everybody that's listening.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Yep. Thanks, friends. We have this live every Tuesday at noon Eastern time on Doctor's Clinic Doc Biz with Friends Facebook page. And they're always stored in there. So if you miss our time zone, you can go back and watch them at any time. So go ahead and like that page and follow us. Have a great day.